You've got exactly 10 minutes to leave this job site. Or I'm calling Homeland Security. That was the first sentence I ever heard from her. Hair like a cotton candy explosion, bright pink heels sinking into the dirt, and a voice that somehow managed to sound both shrill and smug at the same time. That's how I met Gloria Fairbanks, or as the neighbors not so affectionately called her, Madam HOA. She was yelling at my contractor, Cole, 6'3", former Navy SEAL, arms like tree trunks, calm as a monk, while he was measuring support beams for a ramp. The man didn't flinch, just looked over her head like she wasn't even there and asked me, "Marine grade ramp or ADA standard?" I answered, "Marine grade." Gloria twitched. "Is that a code? Is that a threat?" Before I could reply, she pulled out her phone and started filming. "Illegal construction site! Unlicensed immigrant labor!" she shouted, which was hilarious, considering Cole was born and raised in Nebraska. But the real comedy gold? My friend Dan, an Army vet and double amputee, was sitting on the porch, watching everything unfold while sipping iced tea and recording her right back. Gloria had no idea she'd just launched herself into a landmine field of zoning permits, federal exemptions, and veterans who had nothing left to lose, and even less patience for HOA drama. She wasn't technically on the board anymore. The HOA had been dissolved 6 months earlier after a massive lawsuit, and a third-party management company had taken over. But that didn't stop Gloria from pretending she still ran the block like a personal fiefdom. She was the kind of woman who treated trash bins left out after 9 a.m. as a war crime. That day, she left in a flurry of outrage and high heels. But I knew this wasn't the end. Women like Gloria don't get mad. They get organized. 10 minutes later, she was back. This time with a clipboard that screamed, "I've read too many Reddit threads about municipal code." She started taking pictures of extension cords, tires, and even a power drill, hissing, "This is industrial-grade disruption." Cole looked at her like she was a sitcom character. "Ma'am, that's a standard extension cord." She didn't blink. "Electrical terrorism," she muttered. "I've read articles." And then she said it. "You'll be hearing from our legal team." Cute! What Gloria didn't know was that I'd spent the past 9 months working through every bureaucratic hoop the city and the state could throw at me. The property wasn't just legal. It had a federal exemption for nonprofit veteran transitional housing. I had the zoning, permits, and city council's blessing laminated and posted on my fence like it was a proud kid's artwork on the fridge. But see, Gloria didn't care about laws. She cared about control. She didn't want noise or outsiders in what she still considered her neighborhood. Later that night, I made the mistake of checking the community Facebook group. Gloria had posted a blurry, zoomed-in photo of Cole holding a drill with the caption, "Possible cartel activity, suspicious men building illegal bunker." The comments were something else. One guy asked if she'd posted to the gardening group by accident. Another accused us of being anarchist construction saboteurs. I took screenshots, partly for evidence, mostly for laughs. The next morning, Gloria came back, this time with 2 groggy-looking men she introduced as HOA compliance partners. They looked like they'd been bribed with bagels. Cole calmly handed them laminated copies of every permit and exemption. One of them squinted. The other just muttered, "Looks legit." Gloria snatched them and snapped, "These could have been made in Microsoft Paint." That was when I lost it. I laughed so hard I nearly tripped into the wheelbarrow. That day ended with Gloria delivering a manila envelope stuffed with a list of fake violations to my mailbox. Things like offensive hammering and failure to landscape while under construction. I pinned it to the contractor trailer fridge and labeled it Gloria's Manifesto. But the next part? That wasn't funny. Someone slashed Cole's tires, dumped bags of concrete onto the framing, and tried to ruin thousands of dollars of material. Security footage caught a blurry figure in a floral robe and hood. Her signature robe, by the way, creeping across the yard at 2:30 a.m. Cole was furious. I told him, "No lawyers, not yet. We fight back the way we know how, by building." So we did. I called in every vet I knew from my service days. By the next morning, we had a full squad. Guys from Iraq, Afghanistan, one from Kosovo, each with a tool belt and a vengeance. Dan rolled up with donuts and coffee and parked his wheelchair right at the edge of the lot, like a veteran bouncer. That energy changed everything. Neighbors started stopping by. One woman handed me a $500 check and whispered that her brother was a Marine who never made it home. Others dropped off snacks, tools, even an extra trailer. Meanwhile, Gloria, she organized a community preservation rally across the street, brought cupcakes, made a speech on a bullhorn about protecting our tranquility. Most of the attendees looked like they'd been tricked into coming, but karma showed up in the form of a short video. Dan had posted a clip of Gloria yelling at two vets carrying plywood, accusing them of vandalizing suburbia. One of the men calmly turned to the camera and said, "Ma'am, I lost my legs overseas. I'm just trying to build something that matters." That video went viral, fast. Reddit, TikTok, Facebook, veteran groups. The whole internet came down on her like a boot to the face. Gloria panicked, posted a rambling 4-paragraph rebuttal accusing us of being funded by foreign socialist interests. She ended it with, "I support the troops, but not when they ruin my property values." That line got her roasted into orbit. Next thing we knew, the mayor showed up, retired Navy officer, gave us a handshake, a tour, and announced the shelter would be recognized as a city-supported landmark. When Gloria tried to confront him with a binder of her evidence, he calmly said, "Ma'am, I suggest you go back inside before you get cited for harassment." Then came the lawsuit, filed under the HOA's name. What was left of it anyway? Gloria must have bullied them into signing off. The complaint accused us of unauthorized land use, visual pollution, and community distress. We had court in 2 weeks. Gloria thought she'd finally won. But when we showed up, we came prepared. Cole had evidence folders labeled Gloria's Madness, Volume 1 through 3. The mayor testified. So did Dan. Even the zoning inspector vouched for us. The judge took one look at Gloria's evidence, sighed, and dismissed the case with prejudice, which is legal speak for, "Don't bring this nonsense in here again." We walked out of that courthouse like heroes in a war movie. Reporters were waiting. The sound bite of the day? Gloria picked a fight with the wrong veterans. Now she gets to watch us finish what we started. From that moment, construction flew. We finished ahead of schedule, built therapy rooms, a community garden, a kitchen designed by a marine logistics vet. Everything was wheelchair accessible, peaceful, purposeful. And Gloria? Her porch was empty. No more bullhorn, no more clipboards. Word was she'd sold her house under a shell company and moved to a quiet spot 5 miles away. But fate? It loves irony. Because the property behind her new house? Yeah, it was bought by some of our veteran volunteers, including Dan. They built a small co-op community and started inviting her to every BBQ, dropping off cookies, offering to help with groceries. She refused everything, slammed doors, filed new noise complaints. But the new HOA? They knew better. Then came the cherry on top. A news crew showed up to cover the success of our second shelter. They interviewed Gloria's new neighbor, an old Vietnam vet named Hank. When he found out who she was, he just laughed and said, "Well, guess she'll have to get used to freedom being loud." As for us, we opened our second shelter 6 months later, then a third in the next state over. The truck the vets gifted me, fully equipped, painted with "Built by Those Who Served," still runs strong, now filled with donated supplies and new names on the tailgate, signed in marker by every vet we help. Sometimes I walk the garden alone and just breathe. Not a single yell. No clipboard. Just peace. And I think back to the day it all started. Gloria screaming, Cole measuring beams, Dan recording everything like a watchdog on wheels. She wanted to break us, but all she did was build us. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with an HOA power trip? Or seen someone abuse control in your community? Share your stories down in the comments. I know I'm not the only one.